Slavka Kohout, who coached Janet Lynn to an Olympic medal, died in March at the age of 91. At 19 years old, Slavka Kohout turned her lifelong passion for skating into a career that spanned more than 70 years. A member of 6 world and 2 Olympic teams, Kohout is remembered as a coach who combined science with the artistry of figure skating. WYFR reporter Sydney Stoffregan talks to Kohout's daughter, who hopes to keep her mother's legacy alive through a new scholarship.
She never wore her accomplishments. She lived them.
And Slavka Kohout built a legacy her daughter Emily Button hopes lives on. She was the pioneer behind the Wagon Wheel Ice Palace and became famous for her artistry on skates. Those skills led Olympian Janet Lynn to an Olympic bronze medal. Button says her mother expected a degree of excellence that only mattered if you did your best.
Everything you learned in life influenced your skating, and everything you did in skating influenced your life. She would often say, skating is life. The challenges you faced on the ice were similar challenges you would face in real life.
Inspiring people of all ages, Kohout never shied away from anyone wanting to learn to skate. Luke Fredrickson with Midway Village Museum remembers skating at the Wagon Wheel as a child. He says Kohout's talent and skill define the experience people would have at the Ice Palace.
She was really the reason I think that the Wagon Wheel gained sort of a regional and national prominence through Janet Lynn and through the high level of figure skating training you could get there.
Button believes her mother's time in Rockton set her on a trajectory she couldn't have gotten anywhere else.
Someone recently said to me, "You know, your mother brought the world to the Midwest. She brought international skaters, international coaches that wouldn't have necessarily found themselves in the Midwest, all because of her genius."
The Slavka Kohout Button Scholarship will be awarded to coaches across the country. Applications can be submitted at professionalskatersfoundation.org.